Hello cake people! In this video, I'm going to show you how I cut super thin layers for stacking up my super tall cakes. Fussy cutting is a phrase that's used in quilting for when you cut a particular piece of pattern out of the fabric you're using instead of just cutting a regular strip. Basically, you're being fussy and specific about it and getting all nerdy and detailed with it. So I'm co-opting that concept for the kind of layering and torting that I do because similarly, it's about getting extremely fussy and kind of fancy and indulging in the nerdery of cake. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of what goes into perfecting this kind of layer torting is muscle memory and just getting a feel for it. But I have some tips and tricks I've developed to keep my fussy torting as fussy as possible. Okay, first I get my chilled cakes out of the fridge, and preferably they've been chilling overnight because I know they have to be super firm to get nice thin layers out of them. Obviously, by now, I've already eaten the tops off of every cake when it was right out of the oven, and you should really fold this into your process because that's your duty and your right as the cake baker, so claim it. I always make sure that the paper liner is off the bottom of the cake. I use a paper liner every time just to be safe and to keep everything extra perfect. Here's a quick tip. Even for a small 6-inch cake like this one, I try not to overfill the pans and to keep the cake basically from collapsing under their own weight as they bake. I use 3-inch tall pans, but only fill them just under halfway at the very highest so that I can make sure that they're going to bake correctly. I'm placing the cake on a turntable and centering it as perfectly as I can. A lot of what makes my super tall cakes possible is being as precise as possible when I'm centering things or measuring things and just generally doing a little extra work to set myself up for success. It's totally worth it, I promise. Then I grab my crazy, horrible old serrated knife that I've had forever and is the absolute best, so even though the handle is falling off, I still use it every single time. It's very important that the knife be sturdy because if it's bendy, it can make your layers uneven. Okay, I begin by cutting off the dome of my cake by first carefully tracing a line into the cake with my knife that's going to guide me when I start to make deeper cuts and keep me from going wobbly as I slice into the cake. And you can see I'm pushing my knife further into the cake as I spin the turntable until I'm able to cut through and release the dome from the top of the cake. At this point, I generally set the dome aside and immediately eat a bunch of it while getting ready for the next step. Also super important to make sure you're staying fed and energized throughout this entire process. Sometimes at this point I like to flip the cake upside down and trim off the base. It's not necessary, particularly if you're working with a chocolate cake where the browning is not as noticeable, but if you have a white, yellow, or colorful cake, you may want to trim off those brown bits just so you don't get brown lines in between some of your layers if you are particularly prone to being annoyed by stuff like that, like me. Obviously. All right, there we go. Done with that. And cleaning up a little bit, just to make sure everything's nice and tidy. Now I'll flip the cake back over and using the same process I did with the dome, I'll start to tort my first layer. So like before, I'm going around and I'm carefully tracing my line here. Just being super mindful to keep my knife straight and to pay really close attention to where I'm cutting to make sure that my layer is even and the same thickness all the way around. And that looks good. Yeah, you can see it releases a little there. And now I'm gonna start my second pass and I'm starting to cut deeper. It's sort of a pulling motion where I'm keeping my wrist pretty stiff to keep my knife straight and then pulling the handle of the knife towards myself and towards the center of the cake at the same time, keeping my pressure steady. All right, solid release there, a nice ultra thin little layer. Kind of looks like chocolate Swiss cheese, but I'm working out some recipes right now, so bear with me. And we are officially off. So I'm going to keep torting down these layers in the same way that I did the first one. For cakes this size, I'm going to try to get 5 fussy layers out of each one. So for this project that I'm working on today, I baked 6 cakes in total. So my final stacked cake will have 30 little layers all together. And we are all torted up. Check those out. So fussy. Now let's see that from a different angle, just to get some side view going so you can really see how even I'm keeping my knife as I slice into the cake. How forceful you'll need to be as you are cutting deeper and deeper into the cake is going to depend a lot on the cake recipe and how dense the cake is. I always use my first few cuts to gauge the consistency of the cake and make adjustments. And so you're going to get a feel for this part of it pretty quickly, but it's important just to stay aware as you're cutting through to make sure that you're able to exert really consistent pressure, which is going to do a lot towards keeping the layers as even as possible. And let's do this one more time, super up close, just for fun, so you can really see in detail how I'm getting in there. Tracing that line again, being super careful to make sure that it's even and beautiful all the way around. And now that I've finished that, starting to cut a little deeper, being so careful and really patient with it. A lot of this is just about having the patience, which, you know, is generally rewarded in life, I've found. So the other side of this that's important to consider is what recipe you're using. I only make cakes that are 100% butter-based because if you use oil, you lose a lot of the stability you need to cut layers thin and stack them high. So what's awesome about oil cakes is that they're kind of squishier and have this really delicious squishy texture to them, but that just makes for a cake that is going to either fall over entirely or lean a lot. It's pretty awful. So I generally stick to butter only, even if I'm melting the butter in the first step to replace oil if I'm sort of playing around with a new recipe or something. So stick to butter in general, and then keep everything as cold as possible without freezing it while you're working on it, just to make sure that at no point you're working with a cake that's too soft and squishy. Alright, these cakes are torted and they are fussy as heck. We are ready for layering, which you can see in any of my forthcoming cake build videos. And if you want to see what this chocolate cake turned into, check out my matcha pattern cake video. This has been a Milkmoon signature technique, and subscribe to my channel for more.